everybody. It's another Jubilees video. We're going to do chapters 35 through 38 today. And just to recap where we've been, Jacob returned home safely and paid all his vows. They celebrated trumpets, tabernacles, and created the great eighth day, and then slew 7 Amorite kings. And still, in this chapter, chapter 34, and throughout these next few chapters, he is never called Israel as his appellation. Tom, Dick, or Harry, he is called Jacob. Now, you'll also notice I put a warning here that the next several chapters are very different and out of sync. I mean, between the two books, because Jubilee's focus is on Yahuwah's family, and Genesis is always busy telling us about Esau's family. So you're gonna notice some differences in that. And I just put that there. So beginning in chapter 34, we're at verse 10. I talked about the 7 Amorite kings last week. So here we go with the rest of Jubilees, chapter 34. And in the 7th year of this week, he sent Joseph to learn about the welfare of his brothers. Jacob sends Joseph from his house to the land of Shechem, and he found them in the land of Dothan. And they dealt treacherously with him, and formed a plot against him to slay him. But changing their minds, they sold him to Ishmaelite merchants, and they brought him down to Egypt. And they sold him to Potiphar, the eunuch of Pharaoh, the chief of the cooks, priest of the city of Elu. And the sons of Jacob slaughtered a kid, and dipped the coat of Joseph in the blood, and sent it to their father, to Jacob their father, on the 10th of the 7th month. That is the Day of Atonement. And he mourned all night, for they had brought it to him in the evening. And he became feverish with mourning for his death. And he said, an evil beast has devoured Joseph. And all the members of his house mourned with him that day, and they were grieving and mourning with him all that day. And his sons and his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted for his son. Now, before I keep going, this is atonement. And I'm going to have to repeat this story later, because Genesis puts the flow of when this happened totally, completely different. But we're doing a Jubilee study, not a Genesis study, so we're going in the order of Jubilees. So Jubilees has atonement now happening. Now this would be another year later, because we've already been through the time period of Great Eighth Day and Tabernacles. So this is a while later. Continuing on in verse 15. And on that day, Bilhah heard that Joseph had perished, and she died mourning him. And she was living in Kaphraphtah. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that word very good. And Dinah also, his daughter, died after Joseph had perished. So 2 women died in mourning for him. And there came these 3 mournings upon Israel in 1 month. The fact that 2 women died, and his son, he believed, had been devoured by a beast. And they buried Bilhah over against the tomb of Rachel, and Dinah also, his daughter, they buried there. And he mourned for Joseph 1 year, and did not cease, for he said, let me go down to the grave mourning for my son. Now, I turned this yellow and called it, potential. I have problems with the text at this point. It says, for this reason, it is ordained that the children of Israel, that they should afflict themselves on the 10th of the 7th month, on the day that the news which made him weep for Joseph came to Jacob his father, that they should make atonement for themselves thereon with a young goat on the 10th of the 7th month, once a year, for their sins, for they had grieved the affection of their father regarding Joseph his son. And this day has been ordained that they should grieve themselves thereon for their sins, and for all their transgressions, and for all their errors, so that they might cleanse themselves on that day once a year. That should sound a little bit familiar with Leviticus and things in the Pentateuch. Okay, verse 20. And after Joseph perished, the sons of Jacob took unto themselves wives. The names of Reuben was Adah, and the name of Simeon's wife was Aldabah, a Canaanite, and the name of Levi's wife Milcah, and the daughters from the daughters of Aram, of the seed of the sons of Terah, and the name of Yehudah's wife Bestuel, a Canaanite, and the name of Iskar's wife Hezekiah, and the name of Zabulon's wife Neman, and the name of Dan's wife Elga, and the name of Naphtali's wife Rasulu of Mesopotamia, and the name of Gad's wife Makkah, and the name of Asher's wife Ijonah, and the name of Joseph's wife plus the Egyptian, and the name of Benjamin's wife Ajaska. Now, I don't know why Joseph's wife is mentioned in here. It says, and Simeon repented and took a second wife from Mesopotamia as his brothers. So I've looked up all these names, and not one of them is found in the canon anywhere. I've searched for them. There's no second witness, and I suspect, I find it a suspect paragraph, because they're even taking Canaanite wives, which we saw how many times did Rebekah tell Jacob never to take a Canaanite wife. And now some of his sons are going to take Canaanite wives. I just wondered about this. I wondered if it was showing how without the salvation that Joseph represents, Yasharel would be lost or polluted based upon the Jubilee standards. I mean, Joseph, they believe, has perished. And also, I can't find these names again in the book. Like, you don't find these names, even in Jubilees, in the list of who went down to Egypt, because they counted and accounted for everybody that went there during the famine. And these names are not present, which they should have been. If they really married them, they would have been a part of their caravan going down there. So I just find this whole thing suspect, and maybe by next year, y'all willing, I don't even have the original to translate these names. I don't know what's being said here, but I thought this was just really odd. That's why it's in yellow. Okay, that was the end of chapter 34, now into 35. And in the first year of the first week of the 45th Jubilee, Rebekah called Jacob her son and commanded him regarding his father and regarding his brothers that he should honor them all the days of his life. And Jacob said, I will do everything as you have commanded me, for this thing will be honor and greatness to me and righteousness before Yahuwah, that I should honor them. And you too, mother, know that from the time I was born until this day, all my deeds and all that I have is in my heart, that I always think good concerning all. And how should I not do this thing which you have commanded me, that I should honor my father and my brothers? Tell me, mother, what perversity have you seen in me, and shall I turn away from it, and mercy will be upon me? You see, none of this, the entire chapter here, Jubilees chapter 35, is not in Genesis. There's totally, no Torah from mothers in the canon, and yet Jubilees has got mothers and instructing sons, and it's missing. Okay. And she said unto him, My son, I have not seen in you all my days any perverse, but only upright deeds. And I will tell you the truth, my son, I shall die this year, and I shall not survive this year of my life, for I have seen in a dream the day of my death, that I should not live beyond 155 years, and behold, I have completed all the days of my life which I am to live. And Jacob laughed at the words of his mother, because his mother had said to him that she should die, and she was sitting opposite to him in position of her strength, and she was not infirm in her strength. And she went in and out and saw, and her teeth were strong, and no ailment had touched her all the days of her life. And Jacob said to her, Blessed am I, mother, if my days approach the days of your life, and my strength remain with me, thus as your strength. And you will not die, for you are jesting idly with me regarding your death. And she went to Isaac and said to him, One petition I make unto you, make Esau swear that he will not injure Jacob, nor pursue him with enmity, for you know that Esau's thoughts that they are perverse from his youth, and there is no goodness in him, for he desires after your death to kill him. And you know that all that he has done since the day Jacob his brother went to Haran unto this day. Now, so she's talking about Esau, how he has forsaken us with his whole heart, and he has done evil to us. Your flocks he has taken to himself, and carried off all your possessions from before your face. And when we implored and besought him for what was our own, he did as a man who was taking pity on us. And he is bitter against you, because you did bless Jacob, your perfect and upright son, for there is no evil, but only goodness in him. And since he came from Haran unto this day, he has not robbed us of aught. For he brings us everything in its season always, and rejoices with all his heart when we take from his hands, and he blesses us. And he has not departed from us since he came from Haran unto this day, and he remains with us continually at home, honoring us. And Isaac said to her, I too know and see the deeds of Jacob who is with us, how that with all his heart he honors us. But I loved Esau formerly more than Jacob, because he was the firstborn. But now I love Jacob more than Esau, for he has done manifold evil deeds, and there is no righteousness in him. For all his ways are unrighteousness and violence, and there is no righteousness around him. And now my heart is troubled because of all his deeds, and neither he nor his seed will be saved, for they are those who will be destroyed from the earth, who will be rooted out from under heaven. For he has forsaken Yahuwah Almighty of Abraham, and gone after his wives, and after their uncleanness, and after their error, he and his children. And you do bid me make him swear that he will not slay Jacob his brother, even if he swear he will not abide by his oath, and he will not do good, but evil only. But if he desires to slay Jacob his brother, into Jacob's hands will he be given, and he will not escape from his hands, for he will descend into his hands. So Isaac is telling her it's okay, because even if he breaks the oath, he won't prevail. And fear you not on account of Jacob, for the guardian of Jacob is great and powerful, and honored and praised more than the guardian of Esau. And Rebekah sent and called Esau, and he came to her, and she said to him, I have a petition, my son, to make to you, and do you promise to do it, my son? And he said, I will do everything that you say to me, and I will not refuse your petition. And she said unto him, I ask you that day, the day that I die, you take me in and bury me near Sarah, your father's mother, and that you and Jacob will love each other, and that neither will desire evil against the other, but mutual love only. And so you will prosper, my sons, and be honored in the midst of the land, and no enemy will rejoice over you, and you will be a blessing and mercy in the eyes of all those that love you. And he said, I will do that you have told me, and I shall bury you on the day you die near Sarah, my father's mother, as you have desired that her bones may be near your bones. And Jacob my brother also I shall love above all flesh, for I have not a brother in all the earth but him only, and this is no great merit for me if I love him, for he is my brother, and we were sown together in your body, and together we came forth from your womb. And if I do not love my brother, whom shall I love? And I myself beg you to exhort Jacob concerning me and concerning my sons, for I know that he will assuredly be king over me and my sons. For on the day that my father blessed him, he made him the higher and me the lower. And I swear unto you that I shall love him, and not desire evil against him all the days of my life, but for good only. And he swore unto her regarding all this matter. And she called Jacob before the eyes of Esau, and gave him commandment according to the words which she had spoken to Esau. And he said, I shall do your pleasure. Believe me, that no evil will proceed from me or from my sons against Esau, and I shall be first in naught save in love only. And they ate and drank, she and her sons, that night, and she died. 3 jubilees and 1 week and 1 year old on that night, and her 2 sons, Esau and Jacob, buried her in the double cave near Sarah, their father's mother. So this entire chapter is not in Genesis, and it's all about brotherly love. Both parents are worried about these 2 sons fighting, and Just as a little side note, if you've never studied the Moses Scroll book by Ross K. Nichols and the Shapiro Scroll, I suggest you do, because you will discover in it, and it's a scroll that is written in the first person of Moses. I, Moses, saw this. I, Moses, did this. It's in first person. And one of the commandments given at Sinai was all about brotherly love. And our traditional canon seems to have missed that. And here is a whole chapter about the importance of brotherly love, and it's missing from Genesis. Next chapter, Jubilees 36. This is Isaac's final blessing and his death. And it's all missing. The fact that he died is not missing, but most of this chapter is missing from Genesis. And in the 6th year of this week, Isaac called his 2 sons, Esau and Jacob, and they came to him, and he said unto them, My sons, I am going the way of my fathers to the eternal house where my fathers are. Wherefore bury me near Abraham my father in the double cave in the field of Ephron the Hittite, where Abraham purchased a sepulchre to bury in, and the sepulchre which I dig for myself, there bury me. And this I command you, my sons, that you practice righteousness and uprightness on the earth, so that Yahuwah may bring upon you all that Yahuwah said he would do to Abraham and his seed. And love one another, my sons, your brothers, as a man who loves his own soul, and let each seek in what he may benefit his brothers, and act together on the earth, and let them love each other according to their own souls. And concerning the question of idols, I command and admonish you to reject them and hate them, and love them not, for they are full of deception for those that worship them, and for those that bow down to them. Remember you, my sons, Yahuwah Almighty of Abraham, your father, and how I too worshipped him and served him in righteousness and in joy, that he might multiply you and increase your seed as the stars of heaven in a multitude, and establish you on the earth as the plant of righteousness, which will not be rooted out unto all the generations forever. And now I shall make you swear a great oath, for there is no oath which is greater than it, by the name, magnificent and honored and great and splendid and wonderful and mighty, which created the heavens and the earth and all things together, that you will fear him and worship him. And that each will love his brother with affection and righteousness, and that neither will desire evil against his brother from henceforth forever all the days of your life, so that you may prosper in your deeds and not be destroyed. And if either of you devises evil against his brother, know that from henceforth every one that devises evil against his brother shall fall into his hand, and shall be rooted out of the land of the living, and his seed shall be destroyed from under heaven. But on the day of turbulence and execration and indignation and anger, with flaming devouring fire, as he burnt Sodom, so likewise will he burn his land and his city and all that is his. And he shall be blotted out of the book of the discipline of the children of men, and not be recorded in the book of life, but in that which is appointed to destruction. Notice these books here. Remember this chapter of Jubilees and these books that are being talked about when we get to in our Moedim Feast series, when we talk about the Day of Atonement. So we had the book of the discipline of the children of men. There's a book of life, and there's one that's those that are appointed to destruction. And he shall depart into eternal execration, so that their condemnation may be always renewed in hate, and execration, and in wrath, and in torment, and in indignation, and in plagues, and in diseases forever. I say and testify to you, my sons, according to the judgment which shall come upon the man who wishes to injure his brother. Okay, so now Isaac gives a larger portion to Esau, who rejects it because he sold it to Jacob. This is missing from Genesis 2. And he divided all his possessions between the two on that day, and he gave the larger portion to him that was the firstborn, and the tower and all that was about it, and all that Abraham possessed at the well of the oath. And he said, This larger portion I will give to the firstborn. And Esau said, I have sold it to Jacob, and given my birthright to Jacob. To him let it be given, and I have not a single word to say regarding it, for it is his. And Isaac said, May a blessing rest upon you, my sons, and upon your seed unto this day, for you have given me rest, and my heart is not pained concerning the birthright, lest you should work wickedness on account of it. May the Most High Yahuwah bless the man that works righteousness, him and his seed forever. And he ended commanding them and blessing them, and they ate and drank together before him, and he rejoiced, because there was one mind between them, and they went forth from him, and he rested that day and slept. 18. And Isaac slept on his bed that day, rejoicing, and he slept the eternal sleep, and died 180 years old. He completed 25 weeks and 5 years, and his two sons, Esau and Jacob, buried him. And this is where finally something from Jubilees lines up. I mean, there's just that huge gap. Verse 19. And Esau went to the land of Edom, to the mountains of Seir, and dwelt there. And Jacob dwelt in the mountains of Hebron, in the tower off the land of his sojournings of his father Abraham. And he worshipped Yahuwah with all his heart, and according to the visible commands, according he had divided the days of his generations. And Leah his wife died in the 4th year of the 2nd week of the 45th Jubilee, and he buried her in the double cave near Rebekah his mother, to the left of the grave of Sarah his father's mother. And all his sons came to mourn over Leah his wife with him, and to comfort him regarding her, for he was lamenting her, for he loved her exceedingly after Rachel her sister died. For she was perfect and upright in all her ways, and honored Jacob. And all the days that she lived with him, he did not hear from her mouth a harsh word, for she was gentle and peaceable and upright and honorable. And he remembered all her deeds which she had done during her life, and he lamented her exceedingly, for he loved her with all his heart and all his soul. Isn't that interesting? Not in Genesis. And here is the honoring of a woman, and how much Jacob ended up loving Leah. And I just thought that was pretty interesting to be missing. Okay, continuing. Now, this is where Genesis doesn't talk about all the stuff we've just been through, but it's going to tell you now all about Esau's descendants. And I just find that really interesting. You have to ask yourself, why would Genesis include all the generations of kings of a people father dislikes, of the one that Jacob didn't bless. Isaac didn't bless. And it's not in Jubilees, but Genesis goes on and on. There's pages here that I'm not going to read to you, but it records everything about Esau. Jubilees 37. Esau and sons make war with Jacob. This isn't in Genesis either. Chapter 1, or verse 1, 37. And on the day that Isaac, the father of Jacob and Esau died, the sons of Esau heard that Isaac had given the portion of the elder to his younger son, Jacob, and they were very angry. And they strove with their father, saying, Why has your father given Jacob the portion of the elder and passed over you, although you are the elder and Jacob the younger? And he said to them, Because I sold my birthright to Jacob for a small mess of lentils, and on the day my father sent me to hunt and catch and bring him something that he should eat and bless me, he came with guile and brought my father food and drink, and my father blessed him and put me under his hand. And now our father has caused us to swear, me and him, that we shall not mutually devise evil against the other brother, and that we shall continue in love and shalom, each with his brother, and not make our ways corrupt. And they said to him, We shall not hearken unto you to make shalom with him, for our strength is greater than his strength, and we are more powerful than he. We shall go against him and slay him, and destroy him and his sons. And if you will not go with us, we shall do hurt to you also. So the sons of Esau wanted the portion, and they're even going to hurt their own father to get it. Verse 6. And now hearken unto us, let us send to Aram and Philistia and Moab and Ammon, and let us choose for ourselves chosen men who are ardent for battle, and let us go against him and do battle with him, and let us exterminate him from the earth before he grows strong. And their father said to them, Do not go, and do not make war with him, lest you fall before him. And they said to him, This too is exactly your mode of action from your youth until this day, and you are putting your neck under his yoke. We shall not hearken to these words. And they sent to Aram and to the Adoram, to the friend of their father, and they hired along with them 1,000 fighting men, chosen men of war. And there came to them men from Moab and from the children of Ammon, those who were hired, 1,000 chosen men, and from Philistia 1,000 chosen men of war, and from Edom and from the Horites 1,000 chosen fighting men, and from the Kittim mighty men of war. And they said to their father, Go forth with them and lead them, else we shall slay you. And he was filled with wrath. Esau was filled with wrath and indignation on seeing that his sons were forcing him to go before them to lead them against Jacob his brother. But afterward he remembered all the evil which lay hidden in his heart against Jacob his brother. And he remembered not the oath which he had sworn to his father and to his mother, that he would devise no evil all his days against Jacob his brother. And notwithstanding all this, Jacob knew not that they were coming against him to battle, and he was mourning for Leah his wife, until they approached very near to the tower with 4,000 warriors and chosen men of war. And the men of Hebron sent to him, saying, Behold, your brother has come against you to fight you with 4,000 girthed with sword, and they carry shields and weapons. For they loved Jacob more than Esau, so they told him, and Jacob was more liberal and merciful man than Esau. And Jacob would not believe until they came very near to the tower. Verse 17, And he closed the gates of the tower, and he stood on the battlements, and spoke to his brother Esau, and said, Noble is the comfort wherewith you have come to comfort me for my wife who has died. Is this the oath that you did swear to your father and again to your mother before they died? You have broken the oath, and on the moment that you did swear to your father, were you condemned. And then Esau answered him and said to him, Neither the children of men nor the beasts of the earth have any oath of righteousness, which in swearing they have sworn, an oath valid forever. But every day they devise evil one against another, and how each may slay his adversary and foe. And that should remind you of Genesis 6 and the men and their thought patterns before the flood, because it talks that everyone had evil in their minds continuously. Verse 19, And you do hate me and my children forever, and there is no observing the tie of brotherhood with you. So he's making up a reason. Verse 20, Hear these words which I declare to you. If the boar can change its skin and make its bristles as soft as wool, or if it can cause horns to sprout forth on its head like the horns of a stag or of a sheep, then will I observe the tie of brotherhood with you. And if the beasts separated themselves from their mother, and if the beasts' breasts separated themselves from their mother, for you have not been a brother to me. And if the wolves make shalom with the lambs, so as not to devour or to do them violence, and if their hearts are toward them for good, then there shall be shalom in my hearts for you. And if the lion becomes the friend of the ox and makes shalom with him, and if he is bound under one yoke with him and plows with him, then I will make shalom with you. And when the ravens become white as the raza, then know that I have loved you and shall make shalom with you. You shall be rooted out, and your son shall be rooted out, and there shall be no shalom with you. And when Jacob saw that he was so evilly disposed towards him with his heart and with all his soul, so as to slay him, and that he had come springing like the wild boar which comes upon the spear that pierces and kills it and recoils not from it, that he spoke to his own and to his servants that they should attack him and all his companions. Chapter 38. Again, this is done in Genesis. And after that, Yehudah spoke to Jacob his father, and said to him, Bend your bow, father, and send forth your arrows, and cast down the adversary, and slay the enemy. And may you have the power, for we shall not slay your brother, for he is as such as you, and he is like you. Let us give him this honor. Then Jacob bent his bow, and sent forth the arrow, and struck Esau his brother on his right breast, and slew him. And again he sent forth an arrow, and struck Adoran the Amorian on the left breast, and drove him backwards, and slew him. And then went forth the sons of Jacob, they and their servants, dividing themselves into companies on the four sides of the tower. Now, I wondered if this configuration was the same as when they camped in the Exodus. I didn't check it out. It was just a thought I had. And Yehudah went forth in front, and Naphtali and Gad with him, and 50 servants with him on the south side of the tower. And they slew all that they found before them, and not one individual of them escaped. And Levi and Dan and Asher went forth on the east side of the tower, and 50 men with them, and they slew the fighting men of Moab and Ammon. And Reuben and Issachar and Zebulun went forth on the north side of the tower, and 50 men with them, and they slew the fighting men of the Philistines. And Simeon and Benjamin and Enoch, Reuben's son, went forth on the west side of the tower, and 50 men with them, and they slew of Edom and the Horites 400 men, stout warriors, and 600 fled. And 4 of the sons of Esau fled with them, and left their father lying slain, as he had fallen on the hill which is at Aram. And the sons of Jacob pursued after them to the mountains of Seir, and Jacob buried his brother on the hill which is at Aram, and he returned to his house. And the sons of Jacob pressed hard upon the sons of Esau in the mountains of Seir, and bowed their necks, so that they became servants to the sons of Jacob. And they sent to their father to inquire whether he should make shalom with them or slay them. And Jacob sent word to his sons that they should make shalom, and that they made shalom with them, and placed the yoke of servitude upon them, so that they paid tribute to Jacob and his sons always. And they continued to pay tribute to Jacob until the day that he went down into Egypt. And the sons of Edom have not got quite of the yoke of servitude which the 12 sons of Jacob had imposed upon them until this day. And these are the kings that reigned in Edom. Now, so they put them all in servitude until they go to Egypt. And I'm about to read a little section that I said, make a note. This verse is implying that some of the children of Yasharel stayed in Edom. I was confused by this, and maybe you can help me out in the discussion or in the comments. I'm wondering, did the children of Yasharel stay in Edom and live there, and eventually had Edomite kings reigning over them? Or is this talking about another time frame? Because it's like we're going from one thing to the other. So, and these are the kings that reigned in Edom before there reigned any king over the children of Yasharel until this day in the land of Edom. And Bela the son of Beor reigned in Edom, and the name of his city was Danabah. And Bela reigned in Johab, the name of Zerah of Bozer reigned in his stead. And Joabab died, and Asam of the land of Teman reigned in his stead. And Asam died, and Adath, the son of Barad, who slew Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his stead. And the name of his city was Avith. And Adath died, and Salem from Amaskah reigned in his stead. And Salem died, and Saul of Rebaoth by the river reigned in his stead. And Saul died, and Beladun, the archer of Achbor, reigned in his stead. And Belanum, the son of Achbor, died, and Adath reigned in his stead. And the name of his wife was Maitabeth, the daughter of Matarat, the daughter of Menabazadub. These are the kings who reigned in the land of Edom. Now, there's got to be something here, because, Jubilees really doesn't go into Esau's lineage and tell all the things about Esau, but it certainly has gone into all these kings of Edom. And I'd be curious to see what your thoughts are on that. And here we are at the end with our chart that we've been adding onto. So down at the bottom for this episode, I just put that Esau attacked Jacob and he's killed. So Esau dies by the sword. He listened to his sons, to his own demise, and broke the oath that he had made to both of his parents in the name of Yahuwah. And that is the end of this video and episode, and I thank you so much for joining me this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to the discussion on Monday night. And if you would like to study with us, please look at the description. We have a 2-week free trial where you can come into our community and learn a little bit about us and meet us. And we have a online academy. If you're interested in learning the ancient language, you can take classes online and learn how to do word studies and start to dig into scripture and look at the translations and get to the deeper meaning underneath the English text. So I thank you for your time. Please like the video and comment. It really does help it to be promoted if you will do that. And you have a wonderful day. Shalom.